Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled, your destination for cutting-edge insights into the forces shaping our future. Today we're doing a deep dive into something that, well, truly impacts all of us, how technology is totally reshaping society. Our dedicated research team has been sifting through a fascinating stack of recent material, uncovering these profound shifts driven by artificial intelligence and emerging tech. We're talking about everything from how we work and learn. To the very economic systems underpinning our societies. It's huge.
It really is. And what's striking is that the developments we've seen just, from July 6th to 13th, 2025, they really highlight a central contradiction.
Okay.
On one side, there's this huge, unprecedented kind of coordinated push for AI adoption. It promises monumental productivity gains, right?
Yeah.
But then on the other side, we're seeing growing empirical evidence pointing to significant and often hidden societal costs.
So the big question is, what does this all mean for you? Our mission today on Tomorrow Unveiled is to cut through the noise, pull out the most important nuggets, and really explore this great contradiction.
Yeah.
The immense promise of AI versus its complex, concurrent impacts. Let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the workforce. Our research team highlights that the conversation around AI's impact here has clearly moved beyond just, job loss. It's getting into far more nuanced challenges, like skilled evaluation.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, some projections suggest millions of jobs globally might need to switch occupations by 2030.
Wow.
But there's this more subtle threat, what some are calling skill commoditization.
Right.
So what this means is AI doesn't always eliminate jobs outright. Instead, it can devalue skills that were once highly prized, pushing workers perhaps into lower paid service roles.
And, diving deeper into that workforce impact, our research team uncovered a fascinating, maybe even a bit unsettling, trend in U.S. metropolitan data. It points to what some are calling a return of the servant economy.
Right, I saw that.
As AI amplifies productivity for a professional elite, their increased wealth leads them to outsource domestic and personal tasks, which then naturally creates demand for these low-wage service jobs. It's a structural shift, not just temporary, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It changes the very landscape of economic opportunity for a lot of people. However, it's not all doom and gloom about displacement. The same research team also highlights AI's powerful role in augmentation.
Okay.
For instance, one joint field study found an AI assistant actually increased the productivity of customer support agents by 14% per hour.
That's significant.
It is. And what's even more interesting maybe is that less experienced workers saw an even bigger improvement, like 34%.
Wow, 34%.
Yeah, which suggests AI can act as a kind of leveling agent, boosting everyone up.
And our research team also points to some really promising results elsewhere, like a landmark UK government trial.
Yes, the civil service one.
That's the one. Over 20,000 civil servants saved an average of 26 minutes per day using an AI tool for routine tasks. That equates to nearly 13 working days per year. Imagine that it's almost like getting an extra couple of weeks off.
It sounds great on paper, but that raises a critical question, doesn't it?
Okay.
If AI is saving so much time, why does our research team's data from a recent State of the Workplace report show AI users actually have longer workdays and significantly lower focus time?
That seems completely counterintuitive.
It does. This is what we call the productivity paradox. It points to this thing called cognitive overhead.
Cognitive overhead.
Yeah, it's the new, often unmeasured work involved in using AI. Things like, crafting prompts, verifying the outputs, editing them.
Right, the stuff you don't immediately think about.
Exactly. So the most critical AI-era skill might not actually be prompt engineering, but maybe this metacognitive ability to strategically decide when and when not to use AI.
Okay, so the key takeaway here then, maybe, is that the true return on AI investment isn't just about saving time on individual tasks.
No.
It's more about effectively managing this new kind of cognitive burden. So we've seen how AI is reshaping the workplace, often creating more cognitive load even as it saves time on paper. Now, how is this paradox playing out in education? Are we preparing the next generation for this complex reality?
Well, what's truly fascinating here, according to our research team, is just the sheer scale of the top-down push for AI literacy. For example, our dedicated research team found this $23 million partnership in the U.S. It unites tech giants and major teachers' unions.
Wow, okay.
Aiming to train 400,000 K-12 teachers in AI over 5 years.
400,000.
Yeah. And Microsoft also pledged $4 billion for AI education globally, aiming to certify 20 million people with AI credentials. Google introduced over 30 new AI-powered tools for teachers and students, too. It's a massive commitment.
Huge numbers. Yet, despite all that investment, our research team also reveals a significant public hesitation. A recent poll found Americans are nearly equally split.
Really?
Yeah, 53% believe AI in classrooms prepare students for the future, while a surprisingly close 47% believe banning it would actually be more beneficial.
Huh. That close.
And there's concern among educators too, right? About dependency over critical thinking and also accelerating educational inequality.
That brings up a really important point our research team looked into.
Mm.
How does AI truly impact learning itself?
Mm.
Insights from a striking MIT study showed that using AI tools right from the start of a writing task, well, it can actually impair brain connectivity and weaken memory.
Impair brain connectivity. That sounds serious.
It does. The most positive cognitive outcomes were observed when students drafted independently first,
Okay.
before using AI just for revision.
This creates what our research team calls pedagogical dissonance.
That's a good term for it.
On one hand, policies focus on making teachers more efficient using AI. But on the other, students are using AI to make learning feel efficient,
Right.
potentially to their own cognitive detriment. So the challenge isn't just teaching educators how to use AI,
No.
but teaching students how to use it responsibly.
That's the core issue, really.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to the economic realm.
Hmm.
The findings our research team compiled here seem to converge on a pretty sobering conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
AI, in its current trajectory, looks set to exacerbate economic inequality.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the analysis from our dedicated research team points to AI complementing high-skilled workers, boosting their wages,
Okay.
while often substituting for middle-skilled workers. And as you can imagine, that just widens the income gap.
Right.
It also tends to shift economic returns away from labor and towards capital, so it primarily benefits those who own the AI systems and the companies.
Which, naturally, leads us straight into the intensifying debate around universal basic income, or UBI.
Of course.
What's interesting is that our research team's findings here seem almost contradictory.
How so?
Well, one large study, which gave recipients $1,000 per month for 3 years, showed they actually worked less and earned less from the labor market.
Huh. Okay, so does UBI work as an economic tool then? It sounds complex. Because our research team also highlights smaller, more targeted guaranteed basic income, or GBI, pilots.
Right.
And those show increased stability, improved well-being, and even gave people the ability to pursue creative work.
So what's the difference?
Well, the nuance, as our research team suggests, might be that the large study tested UBI primarily as an economic stimulus,
Okay.
whereas the smaller pilots framed GBI more as a social stability tool. It's kind of about the intention and the context.
Got it. On the flip side of inequality concerns, our research team did find a fascinating counter-narrative about market dynamism.
Oh.
Yeah, despite fears of market concentration, monopolies.
Mm-hmm.
The generative AI market has actually been surprisingly competitive. There's been like an 80% decline in the quality-adjusted price of AI over just the past 2 years.
80%? Wow.
Which could actually lead to broader adoption and maybe widespread productivity gains across different sectors, not just for the big players.
That's a potential positive then?
Definitely something to watch. Now, let's take a look at how different regions are approaching this AI transition. Our research team sees 4 distinct philosophies really emerging on the global stage.
Yeah, it's quite varied. For instance, the United States seems to embody what's termed market-led acceleration.
Okay.
They're prioritizing rapid innovation through public-private collaboration, like that $23 million partnership to train teachers we talked about.
Right.
The UK, meanwhile, seems to be pursuing state-catalyzed competitiveness that's clearly demonstrated by its government-led trial of AI within its civil service, saving time for those 20,000 employees.
A more top-down approach.
A bit, yeah. Then there's the European Union. They've clearly chosen rights-based regulations.
The EU AI Act.
Exactly, pioneering stuff, aiming to mitigate risks before technologies are deeply embedded in society.
Although our research team notes there's been some pushback there, hasn't there, from European industry?
There has. Calls for a pause, citing concerns about stifling innovation. It's a tricky balance. And finally, you have Singapore. Our research team highlights them as exemplifying inclusive national adoption.
Interesting.
They have a very pragmatic national strategy focused on ensuring AI benefits are shared broadly. especially bridging that adoption gap between large firms and the smaller and medium-sized enterprises, the SMEs.
Right, bringing everyone along.
Yeah, and they're even investing in localized AI models like Sea Lion, tailored to their region.
So what we're really seeing here are these distinct approaches revealing quite competing philosophies, right?
Absolutely.
The next decade is really going to be a global test case for which models prove most effective in shaping our AI future.
It's going to be fascinating to watch.
Definitely. Now, when we talk about policy and ethics, our research team identifies a global consensus on one critical point. Mass-scale upskilling is absolutely essential for managing this AI-driven economic transition. Everyone seems to agree on that.
And it's timely, too. The OECD, as our research team notes, has warned about a looming demographic crunch.
Right, aging populations.
Exactly, suggesting AI can actually help by extending working lives and making jobs more accessible. But this begs the question, what kind of skills are we really talking about when we say upskilling?
That's where it gets really interesting, I think. Our research team's insights point to what they call a dangerous gap between the policy rhetoric of AI skills, learning to use the tools, and the emerging reality of needing AI-era wisdom.
AI-era wisdom, I like that.
Yeah. Current training often focuses on technical proficiency, how to operate the AI. But the analysis suggests the most valuable and durable skills are actually deeply human and metacognitive, like empathy, strategic communication, critical judgment, and maybe most importantly, the ability to know when not to trust the AI output.
That really suggests that critical thinking and ethics education aren't just, nice-to-haves anymore.
Not at all.
They're essential for future-proofing workers. The most future-proofed individual won't be the one who's best at talking to machines, but the one with the best judgment about what the machines say and, crucially, when to use them.
That makes perfect sense. And hey, if you're finding this insightful, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Tomorrow Unveiled, and be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the future.
Good point. Okay, so we've talked about skills, but even with all this promise, the findings our dedicated research team gathered also highlight significant risks and unseen costs.
Yeah, let's not gloss over those.
The data truly corroborates that AI is potentially a powerful engine for economic inequality.
We touched on this.
Right. It boosts high-skilled workers while substituting for middle-skilled ones. And it accelerates that shift of returns from labor to capital, concentrating wealth.
Which feeds back into that servant economy idea we discussed earlier, creating a widening divide.
Precisely. It's a feedback loop.
And then there's just the monumental reskilling barrier. Our research team shows projections of nearly 100 million workers globally needing to switch occupations by 2030.
100 million. It's hard to even grasp that scale.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's worse, a Rand Corporation report, cited by our research team, found a stark disparity in AI training access for teachers in low versus high-poverty school districts.
So it just perpetuates existing inequality right from the start in education.
Exactly, baking it in early.
And this also brings up important considerations about the cognitive and even the ethical toll, particularly in education. Beyond that MIT study on brain activity we mentioned, our research team highlights concerns about AI-powered grading tools potentially exhibiting systemic biases.
Oh, that's worrying.
And also the potential erosion of, vital human interaction in the learning process. These are all things we really need to be aware of and actively address.
Absolutely. So looking ahead, what's the forecast from our research team? What should we expect?
Well, they project a great restructuring for the future of work.
Okay.
Characterized by the rise of the hybrid job, part human, part AI-assisted, and potentially a cognitive divide within organizations between those who can manage the AI interaction well and those who struggle.
And managing that cognitive load we talked about, that's going to become a major challenge for everyone, managers and employees alike.
Definitely. For education, expect intense and probably quite chaotic experimentation in the coming years. We'll likely see a bifurcation, a split in pedagogical approaches. Some institutions might double down on AI integration, while others might champion AI-free learning models as a point of difference. And how we actually assess learning is going to be a central battleground.
I can see that. Cheating concerns, authenticity.
All of it.
Yeah.
And for the global economy, the trajectory our research team sees without targeted policy interventions really points towards accelerating inequality.
So that competition we mentioned between the U.S.'s market-led acceleration, the U.K.'s state-catalyzed approach, and the EU's rights-based regulation. That's going to be crucial.
It will largely define the landscape, yes.
So what does this all boil down to in terms of like strategic recommendations from our research team? What should people be doing?
Okay, so for policymakers, the message seems clear. Redefine skills funding. Prioritize that AI-era wisdom, critical thinking, ethics, judgment over just tool training. And also pilot social resilience policies that go beyond the simple yes-no debate on UBI. Look for more nuanced solutions.
Okay, makes sense. What about for educational leaders?
For them, the research team urges proactive development and enforcement of institutional AI ethics policies. Don't wait to react.
Get ahead of it.
Exactly. And fundamentally redesign curriculum and assessment to be, quote, AI hardened. That means rewarding the thinking process, the critical engagement, not just the final output, which could be AI generated.
Right. Focus on the how, not just the what.
Precisely. And finally, for business leaders, the advice is to invest in augmentation and what our team calls cognitive arbitrage.
Cognitive arbitrage.
Yeah, training staff to effectively direct, validate, and critique AI systems, rather than just focusing purely on automation and replacement.
So working with the AI, not just deploying it.
Yes. And also, actively measure and manage that cognitive load as a key performance indicator. Recognize the productivity paradox is real.
Don't ignore the hidden costs.
Exactly. And treat reskilling not as a cost center or an afterthought, but as a core competitive strategy.
That's solid advice. And for everyone listening on a podcast service like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could leave us a rating and review for Tomorrow Unveiled. It truly helps us reach new listeners.
It really does.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into future-proofed, how tech is changing society, it's pretty clear we're navigating a complex, fascinating landscape. The promise of AI-driven abundance is undeniable, isn't it? But so are the challenges in inequality, the massive need for proactive reskilling, and the subtle cognitive impacts it has on all of us.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway from our research team's work this week is the critical importance of proactive policy responses. We need comprehensive workforce development and international cooperation, too, to try and ensure this technological abundance actually benefits all members of society.
It really is about shaping the future, isn't it? Not just reacting to whatever tech throws at us.
That's the goal.
We love hearing your thoughts. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app, leave a comment and let us know what you think about how tech is changing society. What surprised you most from our discussion today? Until next time on Tomorrow Unveiled, keep thinking about how we can build a future where AI helps all of us thrive. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.